folks, welcome to MTS. Today we're going to do a revival of a Lionel 675-262 locomotive. This does have the Baldwin drivers, so we're going to get into it. A couple things right off the top. I bought this I think $50 with free shipping is what I ended up paying for it. So a couple things I knew right off the top. It did not include a tender. However, I actually have the 6466WX tender that goes with this model, as well as the front pilot truck was also missing. I was able to go through my part stash, and sure enough found not only the pilot truck that we're going to use, but also the pilot screw that goes with it. A couple of references that I was able to use to be able to find out what I needed. First, if you guys already know, I'm very much a fan of the Greenberg repair and operating manual. I was able to just flip over here to the page, and there's the pilot truck. I was able to just do a quick comparison, find what I needed, and this is this full breakdown of all the parts required for the 675. And if you look at the next page, it even has the pilot screw truck right there. So I was able to find that. So again, just a priceless reference anytime you're doing any kind of repair. Secondly, I actually used the Lionel post-war trains, David Doyle's post-war Lionel trains collector's guide. Was able to just find the 675, determine that it was manufactured between 1947 1949, and it did include the 2466WX or the 6466WX tenders. Also has some cool notes in here, but this is always a good reference. It's got some illustrations, pictures as well. So just another good reference to have as any kind of Lionel collector or anyone who refurbishes the trains. But we'll just go ahead and get into it. I have not opened this yet, so we're just going to get going. So in the description, it actually stated that the wheels move freely, which they do, and that's always one of the things I always look for. The second thing I always look for, even though they're a little bent in, the marker lights, I always like to make sure that they're intact, just so you don't have to replace this whole front. It is missing the decal that goes right here, but that's not that big of a deal. But as you can see, it's got lots of that natural weathering that I love so much. Got some rust, some calcium deposit, just a little bit of everything. So generally, these are pretty simple to work on. We're going to just kind of go through it. I can tell that the brushes, just looking here, the brushes are actually not in that bad a shape. They're decent. I think we're just going to clean that out really good. Looks like it has been repainted at some point. It's got a glossier finish, so that's not something I generally I look for. But at the same time, it's a revival, right? And I can actually see where the decals were. Somebody put new decals on it. I don't know if you can see it in the light. You can actually kind of see where. Yeah, there it is. Looks like a new decal. Either that or they taped it off and then spray painted it around it. That may be more the deal, because that looks awful good to be a decal. Yeah, I'm going to say that's probably the original, and they just painted it around it. We'll go ahead and disassemble. Generally, there's just a flathead screwdriver right here in the front. here. Got something happening. A little gooey. Find a small screwdriver or a pick. There we go. Let's push that pin all the way through. Pair of pliers. There we go. Two more screws right here. Little flathead screws. We'll remove those. Armature for the puffing smoke. We'll remove these two screws here for the slides. We'll clean those off a little bit too, just to make sure that they're operational. See where that screw went? I'll take that off. Side rod here. Got the eccentric gear. And the screw fell right inside there. Just fine when you're disassembling it, but when we're putting it back together, that'll be a point of frustration. There we go. That one fell out. So that. We also have these two screws as well. There's one on each side. There's my screw that just fell out. I've had a lot of comments in the past on these revivals as far as making sure, hey, why don't you clean off the rust? And it's my own personal preference. I enjoy the played with condition. I like the patina, as it were. And all I'm looking for is just functionality, right? So that's what I'm doing right now. We're going to get inside of here and just clean this out really well to where we can make sure we got a good functioning unit, put it back together, and get it on a layout. And oh wow, that's an interesting light bulb. Not seen one of those before. There it goes. Go here on the bottom. There we go. We'll clean that off just to make sure that we got a good ground, a good contact point there. And also going to need a new piece here on the top. We'll get that out as well. I'm going to use a little wooden stick. This is actually part of a cleanup, a maintenance kit, post-war era. It's got some handy tools that still come in handy today. Clean out that smokestack. Okay. Put the body to the side. And now I've got a mess. Can't tell much on if the heating element inside the smoke unit there is any good. Looks like it's not. There's quite a bit of buildup. Let's see. Let's pull out the puffer. Just go pry this front off there. There we go. Yeah, looking at that, it has that buildup. So there's not any puffing smoke that's going to come out of that. So we'll have to disassemble the smoke pot here as well. So I'll show you how to do that. That's not too difficult of an operation. Just more of a mess than anything. For now, task at hand. Let's just focus on the brushes and where the brushes are seated. I'm going to go ahead and, since I'm in here, just replace the brushes. These look like they're actually in decent condition, but at the same time, I think some new brushes are in order, and I have a few of them here. So we'll get new brushes on it, clean it up really good, and go from there. Okay, standard 622-121 brush that goes into this application. So I got that all taken care of. So next we'll go work on just taking apart taking the springs out. Use a small pair of needle nose pliers. It got you zoomed in a little bit so you can see a little bit more of what I've got going on here. These are brass tabs. You want to be careful not to break them. Just open it up just enough to where that spring will slide out of there. And I'm going to take a Q-tip and some contact cleaner and just clean the spring. Just going to clean the ends of them here. Also use a paper towel or anything like that. Just something to get that cleaned out. Again, standard dental pick, metal dental pick, comes in handy. Get in here, we're going to remove these old brushes. And again, not bad, but it's like they've seen their share of lubrication. Make sure those springs stay out of the collar. Again, just taking regular electronic cleaner. also going to spin just so we can get that brush plate cleaned off a little bit there as well. Wheels are spinning freely, so that's not going to be an issue at all. But yeah, as you can see, it's pretty gross. While I'm in here, I am going to put some lubrication. Just standard hobby oil. Just on the brush plate. Do the same on the other side as well. Make sure your spring is actually in the up position, which it wasn't on either one of these. We'll go back. There we go. That's better. Spring back over. Where it just sits in that top groove. I'll push the other spring down. I'm just going to bring that little brass tab back over. There we go. Take the dental pick, just make sure this, I like making sure it goes all the way to the other side, just like that. We got good contact there. Same with the other side. Actually have some Atlas conductor lube. Just gonna put a little of that on the plate. I'll spin it. Spins freely. Okay, well, let's give it a test, shall we? I've just got my test transformer over here. It's just a CW80 with some alligator clips. We're just gonna clip in the hot to the middle and just clip that to the side. This will be our kind of our first test, so we're going to see how the reverse mechanism works as well as the motor. We'll also check this makeshift light bulb, and we'll see if anything happens with the smoke pot as well. We'll back you up here. There we go. There we go. Oh, this is going to be a great runner. The E unit is actually working just fine. See if we got anything with the light bulb, and it's going to hook that up to there, and that's what I thought. I didn't think we were going to see anything out of that. Uh-oh. See if I smell anything coming off of that, but it's caked. We're going to go ahead and work on that next. I'm okay with the E unit. It's cycling fine. It's a little dirty. I can see inside there, but I think for today's purposes, I'm gonna be okay with that. Okay, so referencing the Greenberg's guide, the repair manual, I do have the wire for the light bulb right here. What I don't have is the fiber washer, which I may have in stock. I gotta look for that real quick. So I'll need the fiber washer, and then I also need the lamp socket. Whoever worked with this actually looks like they soldered that directly to the bulb. So there's no use there at all. So I'm going to look for a lamp socket. I'll have to find one of my older units and see if I've got something I can come up with there. Okay, I was able to find a light socket that I needed, so we're going to drop the fiber washer in the bottom of that. I'm going to run this wire right through there, And I even have a replacement bulb. Look at that. Tighten that down, make sure that's in place. Hook up the hot end to the very end here. Get a little bit of juice. Oh, there we go. Again, get back to task. We'll go ahead and undo the smoke pot. I know I'm going to need my soldering iron, so I'm going to go ahead and heat that up now. Okay, soldering iron's about hot, so we're going to go ahead and get in here. I'm just going to go ahead and desolder this old headlight assembly or headlight wire and the smoking pot as well. There we go. So we're just going to go ahead and take that off. We don't need that. Zoom me back out here. And throw that away. All right, next we're going to work on disassembly of the smoke pot. Generally, these work pretty simple. This forces air. There's a small hole, but what happens is it'll get clogged up by the residue left over from old smoking tablets, smoke pills. And as you can see, it's caked all the way around there. So we're going to clean all that out real good. There's a small tab at the top of the pot. Just take a small flathead screwdriver. This is actually part of the heating element itself that goes inside. But years and years of old smoke pellets are just caked inside of here. I'm going to switch over to the dental pick. See if we have any luck with that. There we go. And it's just falling apart. Well, when in doubt, let's heat it up. There we go. There we go. Now we got something happening. Oh, a little warm. There it goes. Oh boy. That's a mess. I have a feeling I'm probably going to have to replace this heating element. We'll see. That's a mess. And now I'm going to just take this over to the side and just try to clean it out over a garbage can. All right, folks. Well, that was an experience. Zoom in here. You can see this is just some of the. So this is the old heating element. I'm not even going to try to utilize that. The end of the piece is just kind of dangling here, and it's just caked with a little bit of everything. This is some of the pieces that came out of the pot itself. So yeah, it was in pretty bad shape. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a brand new heating element in it, as well as a new insulating piece that goes underneath the heating element, and then this insulator goes underneath the funnel, in between the funnel and the top of the smoke pot. So we'll get into that here in just a little bit. One of the hacks you can use for cleaning the top, instead of just trying to get in there and trying to do that, take your little butane torch and just heat that up. As you can see, it gets it all nice and clean. I had to separate out this part of the video. Check out my other video on how to upgrade a Lionel post-war heating element. The cap in the bottom. This is the ring that's going to go on top. The insulated ring goes right on top of there. Insulates from the chassis, or from the shell, I should say. We'll go back to the wire wheel, see if we can smooth that out just a little bit. I'm going to hit that with a sanding wheel as well. Oh yeah, that sanding wheel's ready to go. Let's get it nice and clean. Heat shrink, put over top of that. I'm just going to wrap these two. This is the headlight and the smoke unit. Pre-solder it. See it? Here we go. That, put a little lubrication here and here. Nothing wrong with a little fresh oil. Okay, now we're ready for reassembly. Okay, we're just going to take our time. We know that the slot, the top of the body, has to go into that one spot, and everything else should just fit square. Just like that. I'm going to double check. We got a little touch point. I don't know if you can see inside. Right where that I had soldered those new wires, it's kind of touching the outside. I'm going to take the dental pick and just press that inside. Actually, I need something a little heavier than a dental pick. We're going to take a screwdriver. There it goes. We're just bending that where it doesn't touch. There it goes. Just kind of snug it. I don't want it too tight. May have to have some play here in a minute. Next, we're going to take that long specialty screw. Go ahead and run it through as well.
Just go until it's tight.
Still have free movement on my wheels. We'll go ahead and put those slides in next. And we also don't want to forget about our mechanism that goes up here as well. So there's 2 screws on each side. Let's get you where you can see what I'm talking about. There we go. So that's going to go like that. And this one's going to go up underneath it. We'll start with the one on the side, shall we? Place. Let gravity hold it in place while I work it down back into place here. Oh no. Once I get it started, again, this is another one. I don't want to tighten it all the way yet because I may need some play when I'm hooking up the steam chest. Okay, same on the other side.
Screw.
Okay. Grab the next slide. Bring it around. Again, let gravity work here. Okay, got it started. I'm just gonna kind of snug it a little bit, not too much. I want to be able to move it around. This screw in here. Go back through and tighten up all those little screws. One there, there. That slide. Okay. Now we're going to add pilot truck. just a couple last finishing touches. So I like to have my marker jewels in place here. Just helps complete the look. There we go. So to recap, we changed the brushes, went through the mechanism itself. We upgraded the smoke heating element to a modern smoke heating element, where we can now use liquid smoke fluid as opposed to the smoke pills. We've added the jewels for the marker lights, and basically just put it back together. So let's go ahead and get it on the layout. One thing I've got a concern about is the cow catcher on the front of it, or it looks like it's bent down. That may be a problem. What I'm going to do is just put a couple pieces of electrical tape on the bottom just so it doesn't short out. But with that, we'll get it over to the layout. Successful revival, just a testament to the quality of Lionel trains in the late 40s and 50s. Hope you enjoyed the video and found some helpful tips along the way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you down the line.